9 Life Lessons to Rewire Your Mind Every Morning. The Stoic Path to Self-Love. Stoicism. Most people wake up and react. They check their phone. They replay worries. They rush into the day already tired. Stoicism teaches a different path. It teaches you to prepare your mind before the world reaches you. Morning thinking shapes the rest of your day. What you focus on early becomes your default response later. The Stoics believed self-love does not mean comfort or indulgence. It means discipline. It means clarity. It means choosing long-term peace over short-term relief. The morning is where this choice begins. When you train your mind early, you reduce regret later. You stop living on emotional autopilot. This video shares 9 life lessons you can practice every morning. These lessons are not motivational quotes. They are mental tools. Each one trains how you think, how you react, and how you treat yourself. You do not need special conditions. You need honesty and consistency. If you apply even one of these lessons daily, your relationship with yourself will change. Your reactions will slow down. Your decisions will improve. Your self-respect will grow. If you value content like this, subscribe to this channel. You will get more Stoic lessons you can apply in real life, not theory. Let us begin. 1. Accept the day before it unfolds. Each morning, remind yourself that challenges are normal. You will face delays. You will meet difficult people. Plans may fail. This is not bad luck. This is life operating as expected. Stoicism teaches that suffering comes from false expectations, not events. When you expect ease, resistance feels unfair. When you expect difficulty, resistance feels manageable. This shift alone reduces stress. You stop asking why problems appear. You focus on how to respond. Acceptance does not mean passivity. It means realism. You prepare your mind instead of arguing with reality. This builds emotional strength. You waste less energy on frustration. You keep more energy for action. You stop lying to yourself about how life works. You respect your mind enough to prepare it. Each morning, say clearly that you will meet obstacles. Then decide to meet them with patience and control. This is how calm becomes a habit. Sit still for 1 minute before the day begins. Name 3 likely difficulties you may face. Do not dramatize them. State them plainly. A delay. A disagreement. Fatigue. This mental rehearsal removes shock. When the moment arrives, your mind recognizes it. You respond with control instead of surprise. This habit also corrects entitlement. Many people suffer because they expect life to be smooth. Stoicism rejects that belief. Difficulty is not a personal attack. It is part of being alive. When you accept this early, bitterness fades. You stop treating obstacles as injustice. You treat them as training. Acceptance also improves decision making. When you stop resisting reality, you see options clearly. You choose better responses. You conserve energy. You move forward faster. This creates momentum throughout the day. Over time, this lesson builds quiet confidence. You trust yourself to handle what comes. You stop seeking reassurance. You stop needing perfect conditions. Calm becomes your default state because you prepared for disorder. This is not pessimism. It is readiness. You do not expect failure. You expect effort. You expect responsibility. This mindset keeps you steady when others panic. Self-love here is discipline, not comfort. You choose truth over fantasy. You respect your ability to endure. Each morning acceptance strengthens your character. When the day challenges you, you stand firm because you already chose how to respond. 2. Control what belongs to you. Stoicism draws a sharp line between what you control and what you do not. Your thoughts, your choices, your effort. These belong to you. Other people's actions, opinions, and outcomes do not. Each morning, remind yourself of this line. It protects your peace. When you cross it, anxiety grows. When you respect it, clarity returns. Most stress comes from trying to manage what is outside your control. The Stoic response is discipline, not avoidance. You act fully where you have power and release the rest. This lesson builds self-trust. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop waiting for permission to act well. You focus on your role. Over time, this creates confidence rooted in reality. Self-love here means boundaries. You refuse to carry burdens that are not yours. Each morning, decide where your responsibility ends. This decision shapes every interaction that follows. To apply this daily, name your responsibilities before the day begins. Decide how you will think, speak, and act. Do not attach your peace to results. Results depend on many forces. Your effort does not. This distinction keeps you steady when outcomes change. When something goes wrong, return to the line of control. Ask one question: what part of this is mine? Act only on that part. Release the rest without resentment. This prevents rumination and blame. It keeps your energy focused. This practice also sharpens judgment. You stop reacting to noise. You stop chasing approval. You measure yourself by standards you control. This reduces comparison and insecurity. Over time, this lesson reshapes your identity. You see yourself as responsible, not helpless. You become consistent because your behavior no longer depends on mood or circumstance. Discipline replaces emotional swings. This is not indifference. You still care about people and outcomes. You simply refuse to confuse care with control. This separation protects your mental health. Self-love here is self-respect. You protect your inner space. You refuse to surrender your peace to forces outside your command. Each morning, this boundary restores strength. When the day tests you, you remain composed because you stayed within your role. 3. Practice voluntary restraint. Modern life trains constant indulgence. Stoicism trains restraint. Each morning, practice saying no to something easy. Delay comfort. Reduce excess. This is not punishment. It is training. When you prove you can function without immediate pleasure, fear weakens. You stop depending on comfort to feel stable. This builds inner freedom. Restraint strengthens self-respect. You see yourself as capable, not fragile. This confidence transfers into harder moments later in the day. Self-love here is discipline. You treat yourself as someone worth training, not someone to constantly soothe. Small restraint daily builds large resilience over time. Start with small, controlled choices. Skip unnecessary sugar. Delay scrolling. Sit with mild discomfort without distraction. These acts look insignificant, but they train authority over impulse. Authority over impulse is the root of discipline. Voluntary restraint exposes habits that run on autopilot. You notice how often you seek relief instead of growth. This awareness matters. What you can observe, you can change. This practice also removes fear of lack. When you learn you can endure less, you stop clinging to more. Anxiety drops because your survival no longer feels fragile. You trust yourself under pressure. Restraint improves decision making. When desire quiets, reason speaks clearly. You choose actions that serve long-term stability, not short-term relief. This alignment builds consistency. This is not about rejecting pleasure. It is about choosing it deliberately. You enjoy comfort more when you do not depend on it. You control it instead of serving it. Self-love here is strength. You build respect for yourself through action, not affirmation. Each morning restraint proves your capability. Over time, this discipline becomes confidence you do not need to announce for. Watch your first reaction. Your first reaction reveals your conditioning. Stoicism teaches observation before judgment. Each morning, commit to watching your reactions instead of obeying them. When emotion rises, pause. Ask what belief caused it. Ask if that belief helps or harms you. This pause changes everything. Over time, reactions slow down. Reason steps in. You respond instead of explode. This is emotional maturity. Self-love here means honesty. You face your patterns without excuses. You do not suppress emotion. You study it. Awareness replaces chaos. Begin by noticing the body before the story. Tight chest, shallow breath, heat. These signals appear before words or actions. When you catch them early, you regain control. The body warns you before the mind reacts. Name the emotion without judging it. Say anger. Say fear. Say frustration. Naming reduces intensity. It turns reaction into information. This creates distance between you and the impulse. Then examine the belief underneath. Ask what you are demanding in that moment. Respect, speed, control. Often the demand is unrealistic. When the demand drops, the emotion softens. This practice builds patience through repetition. You will not master it in a day. You train it the same way you train a muscle. Missed reactions still teach you. You review them without shame. Over time, you stop identifying with every emotion. You see them as passing states, not commands. This changes your behavior in conflict, work, and relationships. Self-love here is self-awareness. You stop abandoning yourself in emotional storms. Each morning intention to observe creates steadiness. When pressure rises, you remain present because you practiced before the moment arrived. 5. Prepare for criticism. Criticism will come. Sometimes fair, sometimes ignorant. Stoicism teaches preparation, not defense. Each morning, remind yourself that judgment from others is normal. When criticism arrives, you examine it. If it is true, you learn. If it is false, you release it. Either way, you remain steady. This lesson removes fear of opinion. You stop shaping your life around approval. Your values guide you instead. Self-love here is integrity. You choose alignment over validation. Morning preparation protects your confidence all day. Begin by separating feedback from identity. Criticism speaks to an action or result, not your worth. When you confuse the two, defense takes over. When you separate them, learning becomes possible. Each morning, decide whose opinions matter. Limit this list. Mentors, standards, evidence. Everyone else becomes background noise. This filter protects focus and reduces emotional fatigue. When criticism is accurate, accept it without drama. Correction is not humiliation. It is information. Use it to adjust behavior. This builds competence and respect for yourself. When criticism is inaccurate or malicious, do nothing. Do not argue. Do not explain. Silence preserves dignity. Your time and energy remain intact. This practice strengthens emotional independence. You stop reacting to praise and blame with equal intensity. Stability replaces fluctuation. Confidence grows because it rests on conduct, not applause. Self-love here is loyalty to principle. You refuse to trade your values for approval. Each morning preparation removes surprise. When judgment comes, you remain composed because you already chose what matters. 6. Practice breath control. Your breath shapes your nervous system. Stoicism valued calm under pressure. Slow breathing trains that calm. Each morning, breathe with intention. Longer exhales reduce stress response. Your body learns safety. This gives your mind space to lead. Breath control makes discipline physical. You do not rely on thought alone. Your body supports your focus. Self-love here is regulation. You give yourself tools to stay stable, not reactive. This stability compounds daily. Begin each morning with a short breathing cycle. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts. Exhale slowly for 6 counts. This ratio signals calm to the nervous system. Research shows slower exhalation lowers heart rate and reduces anxiety response. This prepares you before stress appears. Breath control also improves attention. When breathing slows, mental noise drops. You think more clearly. Decisions improve because the body is not in alert mode. Calm becomes a physical state, not an idea. Use breath as an anchor during the day. When tension rises, return to slow breathing. You interrupt emotional escalation before it takes control. This creates consistency under pressure. Over time, breath training builds confidence. You trust your ability to steady yourself. You stop seeking external reassurance. Control comes from within. This habit strengthens presence. You stay connected to the moment instead of racing ahead mentally. Presence reduces errors and regret. Self-love here is preparation. You do not wait until anxiety appears to act. Each morning breath practice trains stability. When challenges arise, your body already knows how to remain composed. 7. Focus on contribution. Each morning, ask how you will be useful. Stoicism values service over ego. Contribution shifts attention outward in a healthy way. When you aim to contribute, self-pity fades. Purpose replaces rumination. Your actions gain direction. This does not mean neglecting yourself. It means grounding your self-worth in action, not praise. Self-love here is meaning. You treat yourself as someone who adds value. This builds pride without arrogance. Begin by defining usefulness in simple terms. Show up prepared. Listen fully. Complete what you start. Small acts of contribution matter more than grand gestures. Stoicism values reliability over recognition. When you focus on contribution, comparison weakens. You stop measuring yourself against others. You measure yourself by effort and integrity. This reduces envy and insecurity. Contribution also strengthens discipline. when others depend on your effort. Excuses lose power. You act because it is required, not because you feel inspired. This builds consistency. Service improves perspective. Personal problems shrink when attention shifts outward. You gain balance. Emotional weight lightens because purpose anchors you. This practice also builds respect from others naturally. You do not chase it. You earn it through steady action. Respect gained this way feels stable because it reflects reality. Self-love here is responsibility. You see yourself as capable and needed. Each morning intention to contribute gives direction. When the day ends, satisfaction comes from usefulness, not approval. 8. Accept impermanence. Everything changes. Stoicism teaches this to reduce attachment. Each morning, remind yourself that nothing is guaranteed. This does not create fear, it creates appreciation. You stop clinging. You act with presence. When loss comes, you cope better because you expected change. This expectation softens impact. Self-love here is realism. You build strength by facing truth early, not avoiding it. Begin by acknowledging that people, roles, and circumstances are temporary. This awareness sharpens attention. You listen more closely. You act more deliberately. Presence increases because you stop assuming time is unlimited. Impermanence also reduces entitlement. You stop expecting life to stay convenient or familiar. When change happens, you adapt faster. Resistance drops because surprise disappears. This practice improves gratitude in a practical way. You value what you have without clinging to it. Enjoyment deepens because it is free from fear of loss. You appreciate without dependency. When loss occurs, grief still appears. Stoicism does not deny it. It prevents collapse. You remind yourself that change was always part of the contract. This understanding supports recovery. Impermanence also encourages courage. You act when action matters. You speak when honesty is required. Delay loses appeal because nothing is promised. Self-love here is courage rooted in truth. Each morning acceptance of change strengthens resilience. When life shifts, you remain steady because you trained your mind to expect movement, not permanence. 9. End with intention. Before you start your day, choose how you will act. Choose patience. Choose honesty. Choose restraint. Intentions guide behavior. Without them, emotion leads. Stoicism trains deliberate action. Each morning intention strengthens identity. You become consistent. You trust yourself. Begin by setting one clear intention. Do not overload yourself. Choose a single virtue to practice. Patience in conversation. Honesty in decisions. Restraint under pressure. Clarity improves follow-through. State the intention in action terms. Decide what you will do, not what you will feel. Feelings change. Actions remain within your control. This keeps the intention practical and measurable. Revisit the intention briefly during the day. When a challenge appears, recall your choice. This reminder redirects behavior before emotion takes over. Consistency grows through repetition. Ending the morning with intention creates personal accountability. You know what you committed to. At night, review whether your actions matched it. This review builds trust with yourself. Self-love here is reliability. You become someone who keeps promises, especially to yourself. Each morning intention shapes conduct. Over time, your character reflects the choices you repeat daily. Self-love here is commitment. You show up for your values daily. If this video helped you, subscribe to this channel. You will get more Stoic lessons you can apply every day. Comment below which lesson you will practice tomorrow.